How many people are familiar with the idea of ASO, so the concept of ASO? Okay, great. So for, let's say 95% of the people here, it will be a discovery. So I'll be happy to walk you through what ASO means, how you can do ASO in your company, in your startup. And what does it mean? This is very important. I know growth is very important for startups, and you usually need a lot of investment to actually start paid acquisitions. So this is a great topic for the ones who want to actually get some traffic for free. So what is ASO? ASO stands for App Store Optimization. Basically, App Store Optimization means two things, very important. So it means discoverability, means how people actually discover you on the App Store. Of course, completely organically, completely free, without pay, without any ads. So discoverability goes through keywords. People are searching for you, either for your name or for a given keyword, and this is how they find you. So your keywords are very important, and you have to really include them in your title, in your short description on Google Play, in your long description, or in the hidden keywords on Apple. So we're going to come later back to this stage where I'm going to explain where you can actually add this keyword, so it's going to be more practical. So one part of ASO is how people discover you organically, like people type your any keyword and they discover you. And the second part is conversion. Basically, when people discovered you on the store, how do you convince them to download your app, right? So they're basically everything is taken into consideration. So from screenshots, icon, feature graphic, text, everything possible, but then they have different values. Of course, we're gonna come later more in details. So two things to remember: discoverability through keywords, and then conversion through basically everything like screenshots, icons, and feature graphic. So to give you maybe some more visual idea is how are the app stores different? So at the first glance, you see that actually they're quite different, right? So this is Apple, and this is once you enter the store detailed page. So when people click on your name, what they see is actually your icon at first, then they're gonna see your reviews, it's like this small little thing. Then they're going to see your first two screenshots, and this is the first thing they see without scrolling. So after you scroll, you see the long description and other things. But important is that that's the first impression, and most of the conversions come actually in the first seconds. So then on the other side, we have Google Play. So Google Play, it's completely different. This is the so-called featured graphic, meaning that when you open the App Store page, the first thing you see is the featured graphic. This does not exist on Apple. It's very important. You can add a video and it's going to be displayed in the feature graphic. You can add a video on Apple and it's going to be displayed in your first screenshot. That's also a major difference. Then, of course, you have the icon. And then you see that on Google Play, the very major difference is that how prominently the reviews are displayed and how many people actually downloaded the app, right? It's not so small. It's like really people see it immediately. It's well displayed. And one of the biggest differences between the stores is that on Google Play, you have the so-called short description. So short description, it's 80 characters where you can actually really describe your app. You can say, this is the value proposition of my app. This is why you should download me. This is really what might make the difference. So this is just to give you an idea what the differences are between the stores, Apple and Google Play. So a bit more technical about what the main differences between the stores are. So it is important to know the differences. For example, for Apple Store, you have, for the title, only 50 characters to actually describe what your application is about. So you have your name, and then you can put some keywords that are really relevant for your application. So curious fact is that Apple used to have 255 characters. So basically, you had 255 characters to write whatever you feel like, and you could have actually just spam it with keywords. You could write any keywords that are relevant for your application, and because the user sees only the first 50 characters, and after that it's cut. So the user does not see anything, but you're still ranking for these keywords that are written until the 255th character. So Apple actually noticed that many developers were spamming the titles. They were like, writing all kind of keywords because they wanted to actually rank high for this particular keywords. So they said, we don't like that. We're absolutely cutting it. You have now 50 characters. You don't have 255. So 50 characters might sound a lot. It's not. So really use it wisely and know that whatever you write in your title, in your app title, will be really the one that you're going to rank higher for. So it's really, there is more weight in the keywords that are used in the title. So Google Play, it's even more modest. They actually offer you a maximum of 30 characters. That's really, really, really a little, especially that working for a company like Here, our app is called Here We Go. You can imagine that's already half of the characters. Like, here we go, and then we say dash, and then navigation and maps. Not sure it always fits. So use very wisely the characters in the title. Short description does not exist on Apple, but does exist on Google Play, and it's very, very important. It's one of the first things your user sees. So you have 80 characters to say actually what your app is all about. Make sure to not only say what your app is all about, but make sure to try to convince the user why to download, and really use strong keywords, meaning that when people try to find you, they will type this particular keyword, and it will be linked to your short description, and you are going to appear really high in the results, in the search results. Icon, both have an icon. There is not a major difference there. Long description. Both platforms are actually offering 4,000 characters. Like 4,000 characters, that's a lot. Basically, you can use it really wisely. Like on Apple, it's a bit different than Google once again, because Google actually, the way it works, it scrolls the entire page. So the more text you have, like your description, the more you'll be ranking for this particular keywords, meaning that really use the 4,000 characters on Google Play. It's really smart. The 4,000 on Apple, it's not, for now, not scrolling your long description and does not rank you because of your long description. So make it more like, easy to read, nice, but not necessarily stuffed with keywords. It's not going to bring you any ranking there. Screenshots. You have maximum of 5 screenshots on Apple, and you have maximum of 8 screenshots on Google Play. 8 is quite a lot. So if you can use all of them, that's great. If you use 5 to 6, it's also fine. And then video, you can have video between 15 and 30 seconds on Apple Store, and then Google Play, it's offering 30 seconds to 2 minutes, which is huge. I don't know who, maybe there are apps that have 2 minutes of video, but it's usually as, I used to work in a gaming company before Here, and I was doing paid acquisition there. And of course, we worked a lot with video networks. We actually tried a lot of video, and I can tell you that the best video, the way it converted, was about 15 to 30 seconds. Like more than that, people were just not looking at it, not watching it. All right, so after we've seen a little bit more in details all the parts of the App Store, what is actually the impact of those things? So where you should be like really paying attention, right? So the long description, how many people are actually reading your long description? Well, according to StoreMaven, it's an A/B test platform that allows you to A/B test your store page. It's a little bit interesting the way they do it, but anyway, they're testing store pages. So they made many A/B tests, and they came to the conclusion that only 2% of the Apple users are actually really expanding the long description to really read what's in it, and only 5% are doing so on Google Play. So that's not a lot, but the long description has also another function, especially on Google Play. Then we have video. How many people actually are watching the video? So according to best standards, like industry standards, everybody will tell you, add a video, it's great. It will convert so well. People really enjoy and engage with the video, explain the values, it's gonna be amazing. But how many people are actually really watching the video? So 7 on Apple and 15 on average on Google Play, and maybe something from experience. We A/B tested video on Google Play with Here We Go. And we were expecting like amazing success. We were absolutely sure that it will be great. Yeah. No, it's a percentage when the person arrives on the store, is it going to play the video or not? This is so basic. No, at all. This is completely only on the store page. So basically, how do you acquire the user? Not what's going on with the user afterwards. It's really about when people come to the page, this is how they convert. This is how many % of these people that visited the page actually really watched the video. So for us, for our A/B test, unfortunately, it turned out that actually the video is decreasing our conversion. It was actually quite negative, and we had to remove our video. So be very careful and always A/B test. Listen to best practices, but question them. It's very important. So personally, my favorite topic is screenshots, because screenshots are very visual. They're really going to convince the user. They're very important. So make sure that you make very appealing screenshots. And one funny thing, do not trust your gut feeling on any image. Like, I could swear that when we did the new design for our screenshots, that here we go, I was like, this is going to be crazy. Plus 20% conversion, I can swear on that. Nothing. No difference at all. And if I show you what we were actually really comparing, you're not going to believe it. You're going to be like, yeah, your A/B test, it's actually not working. I think I'm going to kill the flower without willing. I'm sorry. Good that it's not a real one. Anyway, so screenshots. 33% are scrolling through the gallery. That leaves you with 67% that are not. And also, we have 5 screenshots. So, okay, 5 screenshots, people might be scrolling. But on Google Play, it's 8 screenshots. People are maybe less likely to scroll 8 screenshots. So, app description page, like how many people really going down the page, not necessarily expanding the description, just really scrolling to the bottom. It's actually not that bad in terms of conversion, but you see that actually the majority of your users are not actually checking the whole description. All right, so after this brief overview, I know it was a lot of information. Yes? Yeah, so basically Apple and Google, it's like amazing, but everything is different. Everything is different. An A/B test on Android will be completely different on Apple. The users are just different. Of course, statistically, I cannot tell exactly like what's their background, what exactly they're behaving like this, but there is a clear behavior pattern that it's very different from Google Play users are kind of more open. They're going to click. If they're going to read about it, they're going to download it, they're going to try it out. Whereas the iOS users are more like checking, exploring, not really sure I'm going to download. It's like they're kind of the pickier users. We don't know exactly why, because of course of privacy, we don't know who these people are, so we cannot really say, hey, these people are doing this and that, and really analyze their behavior, but it is indeed very different. So, unfortunately, I cannot tell you more details. So, this was maybe a little bit more information about the differences in the stores. I hope it was clear. If there was something unclear, please ask me, don't worry. Yes? No, unfortunately, that was just borrowed statistics from the colleagues from StoreMaven, so I don't have the actual numbers, and I don't think they disclose their actual numbers in terms of like how many A/B tests were run, but I can just tell you that it's quite a successful company. It's a big one, and they have a lot of big customers, so I believe that their data, it's kind of relevant. It doesn't come from our company, so... Yes? I see that you guys are here on... This comes next. Yes. So do's of ASO, what you guys can do when you have a startup, when you're working in a startup, when you're not working in a startup, or you just actually are working with an app. These are things that we've seen work very well. These are best practices. So I really recommend that you apply it. Find the best category for your app. So once you have an app, you have to make a decision where to place your app, right? So there are all kinds of categories. So Apple, for instance, lets you choose a category. You can choose whatever you want to appear. This is the category navigation, and this is also Here We Go, our very nice application that will help you, guide you through the city. So if you want to go from A to B, we help you actually calculate the route and show you really fancy features. So don't hesitate to try. But then we have intruders. Immobilien Scout 24. Seriously? I mean, seriously? Like basically when I'm looking for a navigation, I'm like, yeah, I really want a navigation because I'm going to drive from A to B, and then I come and I see a Mobilian Scout, I'm like, I'm going to buy an apartment. Why not? Right? So that does not make much sense, right? Like they're number 2 and we're number 5, and I'm like, why are they number 2? Well, basically they chose their, that's my assumption. They chose this category. There is no category called real estate or anything. So they had to choose a category. And they really rank high in this category, not because they convert amazingly for navigation and because people looked for navigation but found them and decided to download it, but they actually are number 2 because of the number of installs. Because their number of installs is actually higher than anyone that it's a 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th position. Because Apple Store works like this. It's a matter of downloads. Emonet, same. Or maybe when I go to productivity, am I productive when I rent a car? I don't know. Maybe I am. So basically, find the best category for your app. It's very important for you and for your app, of course. I don't know if that brings something, this company that are completely misplaced. Maybe not. I don't know. I cannot know. Second lesson. Your app reviews are the key to conversion. So, good news for Apple, bad news from Google. You can choose. Basically, make sure. Sometimes, like startups, they have a project, they have already a prototype, they have their app, and they're like, "We're launching. We don't care. We're just launching." It's like, okay, launch, but do not push paid traffic to it, because if people are not happy, they're gonna leave you bad results, like bad reviews, especially on Android. And then the problem is that on Android, the way the reviews are made is like they're all-time reviews. So if today you have 15 horrible reviews, and then 2 days later you have very good reviews, well, your average review rate will be actually a sum of all these bad and good reviews, and this will stay like this. So Google is taking your all-time ratings. However, Apple is doing something different. You can have a horrible release, you can have a lot of mistakes, you can have horrible ratings, and then the next time you actually update your application and you submit to release it, all your reviews are actually set to 0. And then you can start clean. Of course, if you had 5 stars rating, you're starting clean, but it's not so nice, right? So it's sometimes win, sometimes lose. It's never perfect. But in any case, if you're jumping from 1 to 5, you're like, it's a tremendous improvement in terms of App Store conversion. Well, maybe I can just mention in this particular case that we did some interviews with users a few weeks ago. And we asked them, hey guys, when you look at our page, what do you notice first? What is the thing that really you think strikes you? And they say, whoa, you have over 18 million downloads on Android, and you have almost 5 stars. Oh, that's really awesome. And this was every single one of them answered the same. They all liked that we're actually having a lot of nice reviews. We have a lot of downloads, so it's kind of a recognition. So do not underestimate the number of downloads and the reviews. It's super important. Like, I'm going to give you some tips, but not in front of the camera later. How to stuff. All right. Localize your app store. Sounds like a very logical thing to do. Well, guess what? Not everybody's doing it. Localize your app store. For instance, startup, you're really rushing, you're concentrating on the product, don't have time for growth now. It's like, I'm just going to release in English. It's okay. I'm going to release in English in Germany, in France, and whatever, in the entire world. Everybody speaks English, right? Well, no. So basically, always like, we're super international. We're in Berlin. You have all kind of friends. You have French, Italian, Spanish, Russian, Israelis. You have all kind of friends. So ask them, Indian, ask them. Oh, in India it's very complicated. You have so many languages there. I don't know which one to take. But basically ask your friends to localize for you. Just take the content. It's not so complicated. Native speaker. Ask him to translate. Have a second person to check, just in case. But always, always, always try to localize. It's not so much effort. So this particular test has been made by Splitmetric. Splitmetric is another tool that actually allows you to A/B test your store page. And they actually made this test for China, so they gained 33% higher conversion because they localized. Right. Use emojis in your descriptions. So emojis are super liked. I think that nobody in this room is not sending messages without putting like smiley face, whatever face, sad face. Maybe the guys don't like it that much. Maybe they do. I don't know. But in any case, they're super popular. That's for sure. Like now suddenly there's so many reports about emojis. Like there is an entire conference about emojis, like online. I was invited recently, and indeed emojis are great, and they actually convert so well. I'm, for example, not only responsible for making sure that our App Store page is optimized, like A/B testing it, checking what's working, what's not working, but also I'm doing sometimes push notifications in Germany and in France. And we're using emojis all the time. I can tell you that the conversion is so much better. One of the best tests I've ever done in A/B testing, it's putting actually 3 emojis in my short description. 3 plus 12% conversion. So don't hesitate. Put it everywhere. Like replace words with emojis, especially that you're young, you have startups and your audience is probably young. So they're converting really great. A/B test your assets. That's a very important part. So basically, Google Play actually allows you to A/B test. They have it in their console. You don't have to download anything. You don't have to subscribe anywhere. You don't have to do anything particular. You just need to have an application that it's on Google Play. So if you have an app on Google Play, it's very easy. You just can launch your A/B test. You can have 5 simultaneous tests in 5 different key markets. So you can launch at the same time in Germany, in France, in America, or all English-speaking markets. So it's basically per language. You can launch different tests. Again, for instance, I was personally running over 60 A/B tests on Android for the last couple of months. And I can tell you that every time I was absolutely convinced it's going to really, we're going to skyrocket with this one. Well, it was a tie. It was really the same. So do not trust your gut feeling, and do not trust that green, it's a nice color, red is an alerting color, or I don't know what action color. These are all kind of half true. So always A/B test. And one big advice, A/B test completely different concepts. So do not A/B test the same screenshot and then the same screenshot with a different, I don't know, the text is a bit bigger. This will not bring you any result. Try completely different concepts. Try completely different backgrounds, a bit of different screenshots, so actually to validate the concept itself, not an element. So it's very important. So you can A/B test on Google Play. Do it. You have 5 simultaneous tests you can run. That's great. Apple, it's a bit more complicated. So Apple does not allow you to test within their platform. So you have to actually use tools. Tools is Split Metrics, tools is Store Maven, and other A/B test tools where you actually have to bring paid traffic to 2 different landing pages. So the way it works is like you have 2 landing pages. They're a perfect copy of your store. Complete copy, 100%. And then one is one version, the other one is the second version, and then you see if the person actually starts clicking download, then they'll get redirected to the real store. But then you know actually how many people actually had an intention to download your app. So this is also a great test, not for free, unfortunately, but if you have some spare budget there, why not test it? What improvement can A/B testing bring you? So for those that might underestimate A/B testing, you can improve up to 35%. Depends on which parts of the store, but icon, it's like super important, followed by title, and then screenshots. These are really like one of the major things that you have to really optimize. So do not underestimate it. It can really bring you great results, and you can almost double your traffic there. Just to sum it up, so localize your content, display achievements. If you have press coverage, awards, ratings, you have so many downloads, just display it there. Put it in your long description. Just write it. You know, like selected best app of the year, blah, blah. Use emojis in your short description, long description. Make sure to get good ratings. Find the best category for your app. Check what your competitors are doing. This is something that you should do on a regular basis. Like check what your competitors are doing. How are they doing it? Why are they doing it? Try to analyze them. And then A/B test, screenshots, icon, short, long description, feature, graphic, everything. It's basically you can test. And of course, I think that you heard it so many times, but I'll still put it there. Constantly analyze your data and adjust. Very important. So if I haven't bored you to death yet, the more technical part comes. So please bear with me and tell me if something is unclear. So Apple Store optimization. I would like to deep dive more into each platform because they're different. In Apple Store optimization, again, so to be more just for the sake of logic, I kept the split that I showed you in the very beginning, if you remember. So we split ASO by visibility, which you actually gain by keywords. So how people find you, how your app is more visible out there. And then the second one is conversion. Once they found you, how do you actually convert them? Because there's so many people that come, land on your page, and they never download. We saw it so many times. So for visibility specifically on Apple, it's very different from Google Play. So if you remember the following formula, I don't know if it's going to help you, but it's good. Relevant keyword plus low competition plus high discoverability. What that means? It means that when you put keywords in your title, in your long description on Apple, specifically on the title and in the back, is that Lady Gaga? Oh, la, 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 la. Anyway, so relevant keywords, basically in the title and in the keywords, they're running in the background. So how the algorithm on Apple works? It's very simple. Apple, it's quite straightforward there. It's basically you rank for your title keywords, like all the keywords that are in your title, and for the keywords that are in iTunes Connect. They're kind of invisible for the user. The user does not see those keywords. I'll show you where you put them on the iTunes Connect. It's very easy. And basically, you're going to rank for any keyword in there or any combination of keywords. So they can mix, and you're going to rank for that. So basically, why this visibility formula? Because you want to put in your title and your background keywords, relevant keywords for your business. So if you're like maps or whatever, like mobility app, you're going to put navigation or U-Bahn in Germany. But you want to make sure that they're not like 3,000 apps trying to compete with this word. Like, not if 3,000 apps put the same word, you can imagine that you most likely won't be number one. Or maybe you will. Depends. And then high discoverability. Like, are people looking for that keyword? Because if you put a keyword that nobody looks, like nobody cares about that keyword, so it's actually wasted space. It's a kind of a difficult formula to keep up with, I know, but it's really, if you have this, you have everything. That was a joke. Conversion. How does conversion work? Like, conversion works again, once the user is on the store, how do they actually convert? Everything matters. Icon, title, screenshots, long description, video, ratings. But the things you have to really pay attention to, it's your icon, your title, and the first two screenshots. Basically, the first two screenshots are the one visible on Apple Store. So when you actually type a keyword and you have like a list of apps, the first thing you see are the first two screenshots of each app. Put your effort there. The first two screenshots are really crucial. To give you maybe some more visual ideas, so Apple background keywords are you have to put them in the iTunes Connect. So this is where they go. And you have to separate them with commas, no space. So otherwise you're losing, of course, each space means one character, and you have a maximum of 100 characters. So use them wisely. And if you were wondering actually how the hell do I know if the word is discoverable, if people look for that, if I have high competition, or any of the things that I mentioned before, well, you have ASO tools that help you track keywords. So you probably heard of Sensor Tower, of Mobile Action, of AppTweak. They're all tools that are meant for App Store optimization. And they actually give you an estimation. So very important. Let's say I just put a keyword like Clash of Kings, for instance. And then I see that the search score is 53. 53 is a good search score. However, you should not trust that completely because that's an estimation. The tool is just giving you an estimation. It doesn't tell you the truth because it's a bit of a black box. They don't know how many people click on it because that data is not shared, except for the USA, but that's another topic. Then the chance that you rank is 75%. It's again an estimate. I would not necessarily go for that estimate. I would just try my best and try my chances there. And then the total apps actually competing for that particular keyword are 911. That's quite a lot of apps. It could be much worse. It could be 3,000 or more. And your current rank for this particular app is number 2. This is very briefly an ASO tool example. So this will help you to find out if the formula, it's working for you or not. Google Play store optimization. Visibility is a bit different in Google because Google, as you know, like they're crawling pages. You heard about SEO, how they're crawling pages, how they're ranking pages, how they make actually content discoverable. Well, they're doing something very similar with their store. So in this manner, they don't have any keywords that run in the background. Everything is in the description. This is why your description is so important. You have to make sure that you have the right keywords in the title, which will have like the most weight. Then you're going to have in the short description some keywords, and then you're going to have in the long description as well as the reviews that people write about you. And all this is scrolled by Google. And Google actually has a more complex mechanism. They're not only scrolling your keywords, but they're actually checking how people are actually converting. For example, if somebody looks for navigation and if they click on here we go, next time Google will know that we're very relevant for that particular keyword and it's going to place us higher. So this is very important. The visibility formula in this case is a bit different. So this visibility formula, by the way, I wrote visibility formula. Don't. It's not an official formula. But basically, it's keyword density. Do not spam your long description with, I don't know, your travel app and it's like vacation, 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 vacation. No, this is not good. You should try to talk about vacation a lot, but not that the user thinks like, wow, that's keyword spamming, or Google or anyone. So try to make a keyword density at least 5 times. Make a list of top 10 keywords you want to rank for and repeat them at least 5 times. That will be really good. And then, of course, what helps you also is like reviews linking to your store, somebody mentioning your app, and these are all these kind of backlinks that are working. Yeah. So for Apple, they're not using them, as far as I know. For Google, yes, there's like a strong suspicion that they do because they're crawling like your entire page. So most likely, Google is really crawling all the information. And then conversion. The conversion is quite similar again. Your icon is very important. Your title is very important. In this case, it's very different from Apple because you have to put an emphasis on the featured graphic. That's very important. And the short description. The featured graphic and the short description, if you remember the screenshots at the very beginning, they were really like the first thing you see. So make sure that this is really optimized and well done. And I'm almost done. So almost over with this technical or not technical, all this information. Don'ts of ASO. So this part I made it very short because it's a different presentation. Because if I start talking about things that you should not do on ASO, it's like a very long topic. It's called Black Hat ASO. So these are kind of, strategy that people are using to actually that's not the right word. It's like trick the system. For instance, people pay other people to look for a particular word and actually download your application. For example, they, let's say, type navigation, and they have all kind of apps showing up, but they say, don't download the first one that comes up. Download this particular one. And then they're tricking actually the algorithm thinking, oh, this is super relevant. Every time this word is typed, I'm going to show you number 1. And this is how they gain traffic with App Store optimization. So this is Black Hat ASO. These are kind of not recommended strategies because it's cheating, of course. But that's like such a huge topic, maybe next time. So don'ts of ASO, very, very briefly. Apple, I again separated them because they're quite different. from each other. Do not repeat keywords in your title or background keywords, meaning if you already put navigation in your title, do not put it in your background. The repetition is not helping you. You're just losing space. Don't try to rank for highly competitive keywords. Like trying to rank for vacation when there are like 3,000 other applications that are ranking for that particular keyword, it might not be wise, especially if you're launching your application. You're just not going to rank, or you're going to rank 150 and it's not going to bring you anything. You have to aim the top 5 position. Everything below top 5, just say that it's not worth it. Do not include competitors' keywords in your keyword set. As much as you can be, thinking of, I'm just going to put in the background on Apple and nobody going to notice because nobody sees it. I'm just going to put the name of my competitor. Well, it depends on how big your competitor is. But let's say that Apple might reject your application. They can say, whoa, you're now trying to actually rank for a competitor. Well, we're not going to allow that. So you can get rejected. So just in case, don't do it. Again, do not include prices in your title or screenshots. This is something very new. Apple just came up with this ban. So before they didn't mind, you could put your price in the name, in the screenshot. Now they decided it's not very valuable for the users. So you should not include prices in your title or screenshot. Do not put that. They might also reject your app. Google Play. Don't stuff the description field with keywords. Don't repeat just any words that looks horrible. People don't like it. It can really be against you. Rather than that, actually count on keyword density. Repeat them, but in a nice, fluent way in a text. You have 4,000 characters. You have a lot of space actually to play with these keywords. Don't you dare not A/B test your store elements. That's like a warning. So basically, A/B testing, it's super important. Again, do not trust your gut feeling what will work best. Just A/B test it. You're going to be surprised to see results. You're going to learn a lot. Do not test similar things. Test completely different things. Always have a hypothesis. Always try to find what are you trying to do. What is your hypothesis? I believe that doing A will lead me to B, and do your test. And then, was this true or was this false? Did you actually validate the hypothesis or not? And don't underestimate the bad reviews on Google Play because they're all-time reviews. So if you have bad reviews 2 years ago, they will be still accounted for your average ranking. So these were the briefly don'ts of ASO. Yeah, whoever is more interested in that can approach me. I can happily share another 30 minutes presentation. Nobody enthusiastic, right? I'm kidding. Thank you very much.
Yes. Sorry, just with A/B testing, can you just explain how exactly it works? So, who's actually are these users not normal users? Are they segmented in like just the US, or where do these users come from?
Yeah, of course. The way A/B testing works is that I'm just going to talk about Google Play. So because it's for free. So on Google Play, basically you just you have one variant that it's now in the store. You have it right now, and you're not sure that you like it or it performs great. So you want to A/B test it against some other variants, right? Imagine the screenshot. So you have all these plain screenshots, and then you're like, but then I saw so many screenshots with, like with a frame, with a device frame. And then you want to test that, if this will help you. So then you go into the console, and then you say, I want to test in this particular country with this language. I want to test this particular part of the store. You click on screenshots, and then the platform tells you, this is your current variant. Now add the new variant. Your designers created your new screenshots. You can add up to 2 other variants. And now you have 2 or 3 variants to test. You just launch the test. What that means for the user is that every time somebody finds your app, they're going to see one of the 3 variants. So all the people coming to your store will be split between these 3 variants equally. So that after a while, when you have enough installs and enough statistical significance, then they can say, oh, variant B was so much better than variant A or C, or you can run it forever. It could be a tie, it could be anything. But the way it works is that they show it randomly to different users. That's how it works. Any other questions?
So, startup do not have a lot of resources. So if I am making an app, for example, navigation app.
Yeah.
There are like hundreds of apps already there, right? And users are searching with maybe 2 or 3 keywords, right?
Yeah.
So they must be highly competitive, right?
Yes.
And you guys already have taken it, like big corporations like yours or Google Maps or others, right? So what are my chances as a startup to even think about getting in top 10?
Yeah.
Besides, there are other companies who, like you gave an example of Immobile, whatever.
Immobilien's Cloud.
Yes, they are also coming in the list. So I don't see a lot of like a big chance here.
It's a very, very valid question. Thank you very much. So this is totally true. So you should know that statistically, so basically recently, Apple Store actually launched paid ads. So now you can actually pay to show ads when people type a particular keyword, like it's a bit like Google AdWords, like you're bidding on a keyword. You say, I'm ready to pay so many cents for this keyword. And when people type the keyword, actually you come as the first result. It's like this algorithm. So thanks to this, now Apple actually finally revealed what are people looking for. Now we finally know in the USA, only in the USA, what are people looking for really? Are they really looking, what's the keyword? It turns out, bad news for everyone, not for small, for big, for everyone, 60% of the queries on the Apple Store are branded. That means that people arrive to the store and they look for a particular brand. So just gonna type, here we go. It's this other 40% that actually are going really to type a keyword. So to answer your question for startups, it is very, very difficult indeed because it's very dominated by big companies. That's why you have to find this discoverable words that are not having such a great competition and try to bring your traffic there. And I would say one thing. Instead of trying to be more discoverable, which is less likely because of the crazy competition, you can still try to improve your conversion, meaning that once people are on your store, how do you convert them? And then acquire the users through paid traffic. Try paid traffic, because I think that when you're a very young startup, you need to first pay actually to bring the installs, except if you're a viral app or game. I hope this answers in a way.
Question regarding your question here. It sounds like if so much traffic is driven by searches for specific brand content, then marketing, so branding alongside the tweaks or the ASO strategies would help hopefully drive people to your app.
Totally.
Is that a strategy
That's
you would
totally
recommend as well?
Yeah, that's totally a valid point. So the more people who know you, the more people are likely to look for you in the store. So if you can gain any kind of virality, any kind of awareness, Twitter, be it Facebook, be it whatever it is, this can tremendously help you because then people will look for your brand and they're gonna download. So if you have this kind of application, that's a great thing to do. I definitely recommend try to go viral if you can. Yeah, game is the easiest probably.
So I was wondering, right? Let's say I launch like in 12 countries and I get like 500 reviews in Italy. Does that affect the ranking in Germany?
Well, first of all, are you talking about iOS or Google Play? It doesn't matter.
Oh, the App Store. So if I get a lot of reviews, I should go up in rankings, right?
Not necessarily. So Apple works in a very simple way. Downloads. The more downloads you get, the higher you are in the rankings, any rankings. Basically, I know, guys, maybe you heard of incentivized traffic. Who has heard of incentivized traffic? Incentivized traffic, the enemy of every company that wants to acquire new users, or except if you have another goal. What does incentivized traffic meaning? I am an application, I'm a game, and there's so many games, right? And it's a crazy competition. And I want to be visible, but I don't know how to do it. So I'm going to reach out to a company, I'm going to say, listen, can you bring me 5,000 installs today? I want to have them today. I don't care if they're good quality users, not good quality users. So they say, sure, I'll do it. What they do is they reach out to users online and they tell them, oh, you want to gain coins, you want to gain whatever voucher, just download this application. And then suddenly I have 5,000 installs from incentivized traffic, meaning that these users have no value for me because they don't retain. But because of the 5,000 installs, of course, you need much more to really gain the top 5. I'm suddenly in a position on the Apple Store in number 5. The organic traffic I'm gaining from that used to be 1.5. Now it's lower. It depends on your category. For gaming, it could be 1.5 on top of your each install. For other utility apps, it's like more like 30% on top or so. So to answer the question, it's mainly what matters is number of downloads. But if you already have 500 reviews, knowing the conversion rate of download to review, you already have probably quite a few downloads because 500 reviews, it's not that bad.
So forcing people to review the app is basically useless. It's just like a
on Apple Store, it's in a way, but on Google Play, it's very good because Google Play takes into consideration actually your store ranking. So it's very good on Google Play. If you do that on Google Play, it's really, you might gain quite a few positions. If you do that on Apple Store, downloads are stronger.
Okay. No, because I was going to ask that because this morning after reading my first 1-star review and getting angry, I went to search for Tinder. And Tinder has got like the best editor description. They've got apps everywhere. They've got like thousands of reviews, and it wasn't the first result. And I was like, "What's wrong with this?"
They're on Apple?
Yeah, on the App Store. If you search for Tinder in
Apple
Germany, it's not the first result. The first result is a stupid app. Doesn't got any reviews.
But what were you looking for?
Yeah, the keyword was Tinder,
and
it wasn't the first result. It was the second one, and the first one was an app with 0 reviews that basically probably no one uses.
Is your App Store USA?
No, Germany.
So Germany.
Yes.
Sometimes the App Store has glitch, like has some problems. Sometimes they start ranking apps that, because writing Tinder and not getting Tinder, right? So sometimes there is this kind of glitch. But now that you said it, I'm gonna check it.
Okay. I had a question about you mentioned localization. How localized can you get? Is it just by national market, or can you start getting into granular, like city by city?
No, you cannot go city by city. You can localize by language and by country. So we do separate localization and it's a very complicated word. Don't get me that. Culturalization. So basically, one is to it's a difficult word. So one is localization. So basically, you just translate it to the language of the country. It's another thing to start putting elements of the culture inside. Again, I'm giving gaming for an example, but that's a great example. Like there were some case studies really great about what works in Turkey, and because it was a game with weapons. So of course, if the weapon is like the known Turkish ones and not the other ones, it's like working better, etc. It was a very interesting presentation, but you cannot, as far as I know, you don't get granular through cities. It's really language, country. Yeah. Yes, behind you. Can you?
Can you talk about other category, not ranking, but more like I'm thinking editor choices or picked for you, like recommend for you?
Yeah.
How you get into those category in an easy way?
Yeah.
Not easy way.
It's a black box. I was reaching out to iTunes and I was saying, hey guys, so nice that you introduced the category tab. They actually introduced the category tab. Nice, right? But it's curated. It means that if I'm number 3 in Germany, I'm nowhere to be found because Apple decides in some way, I don't know how, that they're gonna curate the place and they're gonna decide what to put where. So basically, I don't know how that works. They never replied with an answer. But basically, if you want to be in curated, like any kind of best apps, new updates, try to be a bit more innovational, like have new stuff, things that others are not doing, and really very important, technically you should be perfect. So that means that you have to integrate the latest SDKs of Apple and Google. You have to do the latest techniques that they're recommending, everything like by the book, and then try to establish a good contact with them. Do not send them emails blaming them while you're not in the... So try to be nice. Yeah. You can call them too.
Hi. Well, I find your presentation and speech very interesting and informative. But about ranking, I'm just curious if different users, if they use one keyword, they will see the same ranking on Google Play or on App Store, or they might have different rankings.
The rankings are completely different. So the two algorithms are not working at all the same way. So Google has this background of sophisticated search engines, right? So they have such an experience with that they're actually ranking in a quite accurate way any search query. Apple, it's still kind of trying to go there. They're learning, they're improving, they're testing, but it's absolutely not the same results. It also depends a lot on your ecosystem. For instance, if I have 2,000 competitors on Apple, I have 3,000 competitors on Google Play. That can happen. The apps have different download rates. So one app can be very downloaded on Android, but not so on iOS. So basically, this completely changes the...
Yeah, but I mean, different users on the same platform. If I have Android and you have Android, and you put navigation... Okay. We will see both the same ranking.
Okay. Sorry, I completely misunderstood.
Yeah, no problem.
Misunderstood the question. So yes, we're gonna see the same.
Always.
Yes.
So they do not care about your searches your history or your preferences and so on.
So Apple, I don't think so. If Google are very doing things that I don't know about, they might. They're actually getting smarter and smarter now. Lately, they're not only ranking you because of your downloads, your conversion rate, your ratings, whatever. They now rate in games. They rank you because of retention. They check the game's retention, which is super clever. And actually avoids, this fraudulent traffic, trying to put higher in the rankings. So far, I'm not aware of any of these practices. Anything is possible in the tech world that we don't know about, but basically we're supposed to get the same results.
And you have any explanation why, if I put navigation in my Android and my Play market, Google Maps, they have 15 or 20 on the line 15 or 20.
What do they have? Sorry, I didn't understand.
So I just tested in my Play market to put navigation. And Google Maps is only at 15 position or 20 and not the first ones.
What is the market you're looking at? Which market is it?
German.
Oh, German cannot be. They're number one in navigation. All these misfunctions today. What's going on? I'll be checking. I'll be checking this as well afterwards. Definitely.
Thank you very much, Dora.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.
Que la famille.